Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Monday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page to watch on demand. Today is November 5th, 2018, and now the news at noon.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, a Cortez resident charged with animal cruelty has pleaded guilty and has been given a deferred sentence. Daisy Stenzel was charged with 18 counts of animal cruelty after her 18 horses were seized by the Montezuma County Sheriff's Office on April 16th. In a plea agreement, she pleaded guilty to one misdemeanor charge of animal cruelty, and the other counts were dismissed, said 22nd Judicial District Attorney Will Furse. As part of a deferred sentence, she cannot own a horse for 2 years and must pay $6,120 in restitution to cover costs of rehabilitating the seized horses. A sentence of 6 months in jail was suspended pending successful restitution payment and compliance with the plea deal. Stenzel inherited the horses after a relative died, he said, but she struggled with the financial requirements to feed and care for them. Under the deferred sentence and plea agreement, if Stenzel complies with the 2-year conditions, the guilty plea will be withdrawn and the case will be dismissed.
From the Durango Herald, courtesy photos. Republican Scott Tipton, the incumbent in Colorado's sprawling 3rd Congressional District, has a 5% point lead over Democratic challenger Diane Mitch Bush days before Election Day, a bipartisan polling team said on Saturday. The live interview poll of 500 likely voters in the district, which includes about half the state and stretches from Grand Junction to Pueblo, comes from Louisiana-based Republican-friendly firm JMC Analytics and polling in Washington, D.C.-based Democratic-aligned firm Bold Blue Campaigns. The survey, conducted October 27th through Friday, shows Tipton supported by 46% of those surveyed, Mitch Bush by 41%, Libertarian Galen Kent by 4%, and Independent Mary Malarcy by 1%. It also shows that 7% of voters are still undecided, more than enough to cover the spread between Tipton and Mitch Bush. The poll showed even stronger support for Tipton when they were asked if the incumbent, quote, deserves to be reelected. 50% said yes and 41% said no. Tipton, a Cortez resident who is seeking his 5th term, won the district by 14.3 points in the last run in 2016. He won his seat by defeating incumbent Democrat John Salazar in 2010 during a strong year for Republicans nationwide. While the largely rural district has been leaning heavily Republican for years, some observers had thought that Tipton might face a challenging race if a nationwide blue wave of support for Democrats washes over Colorado. But as of Saturday, the site, after incorporating the results of the new poll, gives Tipton an 83.5% chance of winning and rates the district likely R. The 3rd District likely voters also were asked whom they support in the Colorado governor's race, and 46% said they favor Republican Walker Stapleton, while 41% support Democrat Jared Polis, and 13% are undecided. Stapleton, who has been trailing in statewide surveys, is hoping for a strong showing in rural Colorado areas like the 3rd Colorado District to compensate for Polis's strong support in Metro Denver.
According to the Cortez Journal, Karen Corcoran Watkins has a mystery to solve that hits too close to home. On Thursday morning, she woke to find 3 of her beloved pygmy goats dead. That came after 2 of her goats died Wednesday and another earlier last week. She suspects someone spread an undetermined poison on her property to kill prairie dogs and in the process managed to kill all of her goats. Snow, Unique, Midnight, Patty, Jolly, and Lucky. Corcoran Watkins, along with her husband Bob Watkins, her son Barry Cohen, and her 92-year-old mother, Ludine Corcoran, run Dove Hill Haven, a rescue for abused animals, on their property south of Mancos near Cedar Grove Cemetery. She doesn't believe any of her neighbors are responsible for the suspected poisonings because none of them objected to the opening of Dove Hill Haven. Also, she said the closest family has 3 children who are frequent play companions with the dogs. Montezuma County Sheriff Steve Nowlin said the incident is under investigation, and he confirmed the family suspects their goats were poisoned.
From the journal AP Photo, the U.S. Department of Justice, on behalf of the Environmental Protection Agency, has asked that a federal court dismiss a lawsuit filed by members of the Navajo Nation seeking repayment of damages associated with the 2015 Gold King mine spill. For more than 3 years, those affected by the mine blowout have been awaiting compensation for damages they sustained in the spill, which was triggered while the EPA was cleaning up the site north of Silverton. The spill dumped 3 million gallons of mined wastewater laced with potentially toxic metals into the Animas and San Juan rivers, affecting 3 states, Colorado, Utah, and New Mexico, and 2 Native American tribes, the Navajo Nation and the Southern Ute Indian Tribe. While the EPA initially encouraged people and businesses to file claims for financial losses, the agency backtracked in January of 2017, saying it was legally protected from any damages associated from the spill. The states of New Mexico and Utah, as well as the Navajo Nation, filed lawsuits seeking compensation. New Mexico is seeking $130 million, Utah is seeking $1.9 billion, and the Navajo Nation is seeking $130 million. Over the summer, the EPA, through the Department of Justice, filed a similar request to dismiss the claims, arguing the agency is protected from litigation under federal law. The motion filed Thursday argues the same point in seeking to dismiss a lawsuit that represents about 300 individual members of the Navajo Nation who claim a cumulative of $75 million in damages. Quote, "What's noteworthy is that these Navajo folks are exactly the people the EPA took responsibility for harming," said Catherine Furlick, an attorney representing the tribal members. The Department of Justice's motion argues the EPA is protected under the Federal Tort Claims Act, which gives federal agencies a, quote, "discretionary function exemption." The lawsuit on behalf of Navajo members says the spill, which carried arsenic and lead, prevented them from using water for their crops and care for their animals, as well as personal use. Quote, "As members of the Navajo Nation, plaintiffs have an enormous cultural and spiritual connection to the land and waters of the Animas River and San Juan rivers." The original lawsuit states, "As a result of the spill, plaintiffs have experienced great spiritual and emotional distress," end quote. Furlick said a hearing Monday will bring together her clients, the states of Utah and New Mexico, as well as the Navajo Nation, to set a date to discuss the motions to dismiss. "We're kind of all in the same place," she said. "The EPA was negligent in causing the mine spill. The EPA took responsibility for causing the mine spill, and now they seek to shirk that responsibility by filing a motion to dismiss rather than pay the claims." Attempts to reach EPA officials late Friday by the reporter were unsuccessful.
According to the Cortez Journal, a new report shows that runoff from the 416 fire burn scar this summer dumped higher concentrations of potentially toxic metals into the Animas River than the Gold King mine spill 3 years ago. It has been a rough couple of years for the Animas River. In August 2015, the Environmental Protection Agency accidentally caused the Gold King mine near Silverton to blow out, sending 3 million gallons of toxic waste down the Animas River, turning it orange. Then this July, heavy rains fell over the 416 fire burn scar in the Hermosa Creek drainage just north of Durango and sent a torrent of black mud, rocks, and other debris down the Animas River. After both events, Mountain Studies Institute, an environmental research and education nonprofit, extensively monitored and researched the impacts on aquatic life and water quality in the Animas River. Though only a few months removed from the July floods, the preliminary data show the impacts of the Gold King mine spill pale in comparison to the mudslides and debris flows from the 416 fire burn scar. Peter Butler with the Animas River Stakeholders Group said that point was made clear when the 416 fire runoff caused nearly all the fish in the Animas River to die. By comparison, there has never been any evidence that the tainted Gold King mine water caused any die-off of aquatic life. And now let's take a look at the weather.
Looking at our national weather map from NOAA, severe thunderstorms are possible from the Ohio Valley down through the lower Mississippi Valley, while that snow continues to linger in the central Rockies. The Pacific Northwest also remains under rain and snow conditions, stretching along the Canadian border across the Great Lakes and over New England. Back to California, the high pressure remains in place, providing warmer than usual conditions there and dry weather across the southwest. The regional outlook states that as the storms come to an end for most locations, light snow will persist in the northern and central mountains Mountains through tonight. An additional snowfall of 1 to 3 inches is possible, mainly above 8,000 feet. Gusty winds may result in blowing snow and reduced visibilities. Snow showers will linger in the northern Colorado mountains on Tuesday, with an additional 1 to 3 inches possible, mainly above 8,000 feet by Tuesday evening. So our local DCTV 5-day outlook shows cold fall sunny days ahead. Today sunny with a high near 50, east winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, becoming west-northwest in the afternoon, and winds could be gusty with gusts to 25 miles an hour. Tonight clear with a low around 29 degrees, northeast winds around 5 miles an hour. Tuesday sunny again with a high near 51, north-northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming west-northwest in the afternoon. Tuesday night mostly clear with a low around 28, north-northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Again, Wednesday sunny with a high near 51, east-northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming west-southwest in the afternoon. Wednesday night clear with a low around 27, and Thursday sunny but colder with a high near just 44 degrees, and as mostly clear skies continue, Thursday night will be our coldest yet, perhaps down to a low around 23. Friday sunny with a high near 46, Friday night clear with a low around 25, and Saturday sunny with a high near 49 degrees, Saturday night mostly clear with a low around 28. And now back to the news.
From the Cortez Journal, Brian Killigrew set a lofty goal as he sunk deeper into his hospital bed during 15 days in November and December of 2017. Killigrew, a 62-year-old Mancos resident, said he felt depressed and anxious as he recovered from the quadruple bypass open heart surgery at a Colorado Springs hospital. His sternum was in pain when he decided that in less than a year he would compete in Tokyo Joe's Rocky Mountain Championship in Denver, a bodybuilding competition known as the Rocky. Killigrew said it's extremely rare for anyone to compete in a bodybuilding competition after open heart surgery, and much more rare for someone in their 60s to do so just 1 year after the procedure. The news that his arteries were clogged came as a surprise to the New York City native, who has been lifting weights since he was 17 and bodybuilding for 40 years. He said he was using a treadmill one day and started breathing hard, he told his doctor, and completed a stress test. A few days later, the doctor called Killigrew as he was driving to last year's iteration of the Rocky. The doctor told Killigrew he needed surgery or he would die. He attended the bodybuilding show and 10 days later was under the knife in Colorado Springs. Less than a year later, he's dieting hard and practicing his poses for an hour every day in preparation for the bodybuilding competition on November 10th.
Reported by the Durango Herald, photo by the Luxury Spot. Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper has signed an executive order intending to crack down on e-cigarettes used by teenagers. The Denver Post reports the Democratic governor's order Friday directs regulators to increase checks of retailers to make sure they are not selling to underage customers. The order also recommends for state legislators to raise the minimum age of purchase from 18 to 21 for tobacco and vaping products, and to consider banning the sale of flavored tobacco and e-cigarette items. The governor has instructed the state health department to issue a health advisory on e-cigarettes and to investigate the relationship between vaping and other, quote, risky behavior. The order also bans vaping in state buildings and on state grounds. According to the state, about 27% of high school students use e-cigarettes.
According to the Durango Herald, scientists have found a new clue that Parkinson's disease may get its start not in the brain but in the gut, maybe in the appendix. People who had their appendix removed early in life had a lower risk of getting the tremor-inducing brain disease decades later, researchers reported Wednesday. Why? A peek at surgically removed appendix tissue shows this tiny organ, often considered useless, seems to be a storage depot for an abnormal protein, one that, if it somehow makes its way into the brain, becomes a hallmark of Parkinson's. The big surprise, according to the studies published in the journal Science Translational Medicine, lots of people may harbor clumps of that worrisome protein in their appendix, young and old, people with healthy brains and those with Parkinson's. But don't look for a surgeon just yet. We're not saying to go out and get an appendectomy, stressed Viviane Labrie of Michigan's Van Andel Research Institute, a neuroscientist and geneticist who led the research team. After all, there are plenty of people who have no appendix yet still develop Parkinson's, and plenty of others harbor the culprit protein but never get sick, according to her research. Doctors and patients have long known there's some connection between the gastrointestinal tract and Parkinson's. Constipation and other GI troubles are very common years before patients experience tremors and movement difficulty that lead to Parkinson's diagnosis.
The Christmas Bazaar and Bulldog Volleyball. On Saturday, reported by DCTV, Photos Kendra Cook. The 27th annual Christmas Bazaar was held on a gorgeous day Saturday at the Dove Creek Community Center. With over 20 crafters, groups, and entrepreneurs offering a wide range of items for sale, it was fun to look at all the offerings and maybe get a start on buying some Christmas presents while visiting with friends. Local artisans creating multimedia art, such as Linda Cunningham, were eager to share their stories of what and how they create their artwork or products, from soaps to custom t-shirts, Tupperware to jewelry. The Rock was also represented with Carol Marie Howell offering the Angel Tree tags to help provide Christmas gifts for children in our community. She's also facilitating a coat and blanket drive. If you have a clean, lightly used item that you'd like to donate, The Rock is offering afternoons at their building on Highway 491 from 1 to 4 p.m. to both take in items and give out items to those in need. Another unique offering at the bazaar was the booth for IgniteTheirPassion.com, a bookseller with a wide range of children's books for sale. They donated 50% of the sales to our local Dolores County Public Library, which totaled $200. If you would like to purchase a book for a child, go online to their website and select Dove Creek Public Library, and portions of those sales will continue to be donated to our local library for more books available at the library. The Methodist Church provides the cornerstone on this event, as in addition to several tables full of handmade items for sale, a silent auction, and the kids' craft area, the biggest draw for the community remains the fantastic chili dinner fundraiser. For just $7, guests enjoyed a large hot bowl of deep flavored chili with a drink and a choice of a slice from a homemade pie for dessert. And in other news, on Saturday, the 3rd of November, our Dove Creek High School Lady Bulldogs volleyball team, which recently won the district championships, hosted the regional championship, winning their first game at 10 a.m. and then playing the Sangre de Cristo Thunderbirds at 2 p.m. to a great turnout of local support, only to lose in 3 straight sets. It was a valiant effort, and we are so proud of the team for such a successful season this year. And in breaking news, the Dove Creek team has been selected to play in that state championship on Thursday at 11 a.m., being ranked 11th of the 12 teams versus 6th-ranked McClave. The championship games are held at the Denver Coliseum. Go Bulldogs!
According to the Cortez Journal, with daylight savings time ending, Colorado residents will lose an hour of sunlight in the evenings, which means wildlife movement at dusk will likely conflict with high rush hour traffic volume when people are getting off work. Colorado Parks and Wildlife and Colorado Department of Transportation remind drivers to look out for wildlife on area roads, especially during this time of year when animals are on the move for seasonal mating and migration. CDOT also advises drivers to be aware, drive with caution, and slow down. Not only are wildlife vehicle collisions dangerous, but the crashes typically result in property damage of more than $3,000, according to the Rocky Mountain Insurance Information Association. CDOT often incorporates wildlife mitigation features during highway projects, including animal underpasses, overpasses, deer fencing, and other structures that can funnel and direct large game and smaller wildlife to cross from one side of the highway to the other in a safe manner.
And today's High Canyon Country happenings. Tonight, November 5th, from 6 to 9 p.m., the DAC, or District Accountability Committee, is meeting at the Dolores County Public Library. The DAC agenda for 11/5/2018 simply includes the call to order, Pledge of Allegiance, approval of minutes, attendance policy, and then attendance policy review and setting the next meeting time place before adjourning. Coming up this Saturday, November 10th, in Cortez, the 210's free show will be happening at Blondie's Trophy Room from 8:30 to 11:30 p.m. It's garage punk at its best, a hot new LA duo made up of Adam Bones on the punk rock vocal vibrato and shredding guitar, and Ricky Sticks playfully pounding away on the skins. She plays the drums. The 210s exude a ferocious sound live. Come celebrate the release of their newest album. And of course, don't forget to walk in your ballot and vote if you haven't yet. The deadline is by 6:59 p.m. Tuesday the 6th, and DCTV will be holding live election night coverage on channel 32.1 and streamed live to Facebook if all things work out. That's starting starting at 6 p.m. with local results expected just after 7 p.m. tomorrow. And all the happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. Email dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is available online on our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page on demand.
Be sure to like us there on Facebook and join in on the news of our area. And of course, please share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.